born and raised khona la kwaNdengezi. Today we are celebrating Youth Day as well as Youth Month, and we are talking about youth economic emancipation. Youth economic emancipation. We have our guest as always that will be looking into this topic deeper into it, and it is youth economic emancipation. You are always welcome to interact with us in our social media platform. Facebook, it is Born for Greatness Media, as well as YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel, it is Born for Greatness TV. Well, then again, Babugele Makaya, as today we are shooting in this place, kwaNdengezi, at Mtogozi's Kitchen and Shisanyama. Welcome again. Let us get into our interviews with our guest of the Youth Born for Greatness Youth Dialogue. Today, right here on my left, we have a very instrumental somebody. Let me allow him to introduce himself, but I know him. He's very instrumental. Mr. Introduce yourself to Ababugeli Emakai. This is Mr. Ntele, my high school teacher. He taught me very well. And then right here on my right, you know Miss Makanya. Let her introduce herself as well.
I'm a youth member in
And then our third guest, Siambona Gopogena Yufumi Akayena, let her introduce herself as well. Nompilo Ngubane. Well, then again, thank you very much for joining us. We are celebrating Youth Month. We are celebrating Youth Day today, specifically Youth Day today. Let us get into the gist of our gathering today. We are looking at youth economic emancipation. Let us tackle these things. Let us tackle our questions that we have as a youth. One thing is, this is a question that is expected by everyone. This is a question that is expected by everyone. What is it? What is Youth Month to you as an individual? What is Youth Month to you as an individual?
Personally, I would say it's commemorating maybe from 1976, but still remembering what they did in their time, applying to that up to
Okay, it's commemorating Youth Month of 1976. Okay, Ms. Ntel.
Okay, for me, I think it is another way to say thank you to our then youth for the struggle that they were involved in for the better future to our born face. I think that's how I look at the youth.
And for me, Youth Day to me, it's a chance for us to remember what happened in 1976, and also to remind us that maybe the things that the class of 76 was fighting for, they have not been achieved completely. And it's a reminder to us saying that we are still in some form of struggle, and then to compare that struggle to the struggle of the class of 76.
So, thank you very much. Basically, everyone is saying we are celebrating what has happened on 1976. Well, then again, we all have our views angafani. That is the honest truth. We all have our views angafani. But let me ask you, Minenhle. Take us back, because some of the youth, hence Mr. Ntele mentioned that we have born freeze. Therefore, some of them, they are not aware what had happened. So take us back at the youth of 1976 Soweto uprising. Lecture us, tell us what happened.
Okay, basically what happened in 1976 did not start in 1976. It was created by a law which was passed by Dr. Hendrik Verwoerd, who was enforcing Bantu education onto the members of South Africa, or to the black people of South Africa in 1953. So in 1954 going on, the uprising began because people were protesting, from the teachers to the learners. You know, they were trying to voice out that they are not happy with the system, the education system that they had. So towards 1976, around 1969, the uprisings and protests were at a higher level. And then on the 13th of June, 1976, there was a gathering which was created by the South African, the Soweto South students, which formed an organization that elected a committee that appointed people like Zieti Mashinini to lead the people, the youth, because they saw that the addition of something like Afrikaans as a medium of instruction was an addition to the oppression that they were already feeling. Because the issue was not with Afrikaans on its own, but Afrikaans was an additional pressure that the learners were now receiving, that they had now to study everything in Afrikaans, including things like mathematics. So at the meeting, they decided that they will have a peaceful march. And that's very important when we are looking at what happened in 1976. No one had an intention that people would be killed. It was a peaceful march where the youth, the learners in high schools and some primary schools were voicing out what was happening to them on a daily basis and the views that they had, and probably suggestions to how they think that this issue will be solved. Unfortunately, it didn't happen as it had been planned. The police arrived, they asked members to disperse, and then the youth had a form of resistance because they, on a daily basis, were being affected by this system that did not allow them to be successful professionals, but just educated enough to communicate with a boss where they'll probably be doing gardening work and, you know, jobs that did not emancipate the youth in any way, or the adults of that time. So they were voicing out those issues, the police came, and then unfortunately the resistance that the youth had and the goal and the vision was not diverged by police. Hence, the police ended up shooting at the people, and then we arrive at a point where we have the Soweto uprising as we know it today. But the uprising was not the one that we know. If everything had gone as it was planned, people would have had a peaceful march where the government and the students got a chance to talk and negotiate everything and voice out all the problems that they had. Unfortunately, it didn't happen like that.
Well, I guess this is something that needs to be celebrated, because if you get to listen to this Babugela Makaya and to our youth, our younger generation, it's not everything that needs to be solved through violence. Well then, Mr. Ntel, let me come to you, sir. You are very instrumental. Your insight on both the youth of 1976 as well as the 21st century youth. What is your insight? What is your insight? Since I could boldly say that you have lived in both eras. What is your insight?
Okay, well, nothing much that I can say about the youth of 1976, because I think I was 1 or 2 years old during those times.
Okay.
But according to my knowledge, that youth of that particular time, they were so determined, they were full of determination. They had big dreams for South Africa, for the youth of South Africa when it comes to education, when it comes to social injustices and stuff. Right? Unlike the youth of today, I think the ones for today, they only believe in here you are, I'm a here.
Okay.
And everything is ready for them.
For them.
Yes,
they
everything.
like to receive things on a silver platter.
Yes, on a silver platter. Unlike those learners during those times who fought and laid their lives for us today. So I think there is a big difference between the two youths. If you take a look at them, at their marches and their protests, it's not the same. As Usisi Etienne, they were marching, that was a peaceful march. Unfortunately today, there is no peaceful march. They only know that they have to loot, they have to kill other people, they have to vandalize and stuff. So I think that is the difference between the two youths.
Okay, thank both youth of 1976 and the current youth. Uguti, what is the difference, if there is a difference? Let us know about the insight Yako. Since I would boldly say you've lived in both eras.
Okay, guys, so unfortunately I did not live during those particular times because I was only 1.5 years or 2 years if I'm not mistaken. But according to my knowledge, there is a huge difference between the two youths of then and now. The youth during those times, they were full of determination, they were determined, and they had those big dreams about the future of South Africa, especially when it comes to education and when it comes to social injustices. Unlike the youth of today, whereby everything is ready for them, and everything is just on a silver platter. They fought, those learners, they fought and laid their lives for them. But unfortunately, to them, I do not think they see they have to celebrate and they have to commemorate because if they are marching, they do not do the peaceful marches. Unlike the then youth, whereby, as we say, they held those peaceful marches. Today, it's full of vandalism, it's full of violence. They are killing each other. So it is not the same. I can say it is not the same.
Rather, they have an anger.
Yes, they are so angry, more than the youth of 1976. Yes.
Okay. Since we have a student here. Tell us, Nompil, as the current youth, are we living the legacy? Would the youth of 1976 be proud of the way we are living right now?
As for living the legacy, I wouldn't say we are, because our objectives and their objectives are different. So they...
On what Ms. Nsele has said, we have the youth Yamanje, they have the anger and there are things I bonayo, hence to this youth, this generation, bafuna izinto and on a silver platter. So tell us below, Uguti, as the current youth, are we living the legacy? Will the 1976 youth be proud of the way we are living currently?
As Mr. Taylor said, we expect everything to be silver platter.
Yes.
So we are not living up to their legacy because our objectives are different. We want things firsthand. We don't expect to take, for example, education. They fought for education, but we have students right now dropping out of school. So my perspective would be, they wouldn't be proud of what we're doing now. We're trying to, June 16 is basically a commemoration in a way, and showing it through our actions.
Well, basically, are you implying that since we are this type of a generation of youth, there is no legacy that we have left for our children that will come after us?
There is, but it's not their legacy. You get what I mean? Because we have different objectives now, we have different perspectives. We're both working towards different things. So their legacy will soon die out and we'll create our own.
Well then, basically, if I look at it, then it basically saying, after some time, our history will no longer be valued and recognized in the near future. Well, then let us move to Miss Makanya. Miss Makanya, tell us, yiphi indima edlalwa i-ANC Youth League kulesi sizukulwane considering youth economic emancipation? Do you think sikhululekile ngempela even in opportunities ekufanele ngabe siyawathola?
Well, to answer your last question, definitely not. We are not free economically as the youth, which is why the ANC Youth League is adopting principles that will ensure that the youth get this economic freedom. For example, the ANC Youth League adopted in the 2014 National Congress economic freedom in our lifetime. Now, when you look at that principle or policy, it's saying that we need economic freedom now. Unlike the past people who were involved in struggles, different kinds of struggles, they don't have a time frame. But now we are talking about we want economic freedom now. And we don't want things to happen for our children only. Because the youth of 1976 fought for education. But more than half of them did not see the benefits of the thing that they were fighting for. They were either dead, arrested, or in exile. So we as the ANC Youth League are saying that we do want economic freedom because we're not free. In government institutions, most of the people who are employed there are adults, from age 35 and above. Most of the people who are employed there as well are males and not females. So
in what you are mentioning right now, saying that most of the people are above, we as in South Africa, we categorize that youth is from 18 years until 35. Then that means there are things, or there are objectives, there are things that we want as the youth that will never be met, since the way of thinking for them, it's more of a parent. They are more in a parenthood whereby they think about things that are going to benefit their children, whereas we also as the youth, there are things that since we are still energetic and we have a whole lot of ideas that we'd like to implement that will benefit us. So then, do you think such things, when we want opportunities, are we going to have liberty to do them?
Look, the mentality of a person who has lived in 5 or 6 decades is not the same as a person who lives in this age that we're speaking about. Because, for instance, the manner of thinking, the experiences, the education that we receive is not the same. Not education as in books and everything, but life experiences, technology, all of those things. They're evolving with the times. So we feel that the youth are more capable of running and being successful in most of the things that we see as problems. Like, for instance, our financial economic status as South Africa. We feel that it's time that the youth took charge of most of the things. We're not saying that all the people who are adults and who are in their old age and who have been working for 20 to 30 years must all be, done away with. But we are saying that increase the percentages, increase the scope of how many youth do we have in such executive positions, from private sectors to government sectors to the communities, everywhere. We want the youth to infiltrate each and every position and opportunity that we have, because it's only the youth who's going to consider the youth. It's only the youth who's going to not think about what happened, because you find people that are saying, we fought for freedom, so I'm not going to let go of this mentality. But we are saying, okay, we appreciate that you fought for freedom, but now we are fighting a different kind of battle. We are faced with different challenges, and we want the youth of today, by the time we die in our lifetime,
Ms. Makanya, can you hold the thought? We are going to get to another point. Ms. Ntele, let me come to you. Mrs. Ntele. You are very instrumental, sir, to the youth, as I know, as I mentioned earlier, that you are one of the teachers that has taught values, Kumina, as the students are. So tell us, what values do you think can be taught that made the youth of 1976 better than this youth if you say they were better than the current youth?
I will use the degrees of comparison here. We've got good, we've got better, we've got best.
Okay.
What I will say about the youth, the previous youth, is that they were the best when it comes to patriotism. They were the best when it comes to patriotism. When it comes to our current youth, they are better when it comes to socially. They are better than them. Because when you look back during those times, you know, if you speak of the values, our youth, they must know where they come from in order for them to know where they're going.
Yes.
You know, to take the young people to the sites like Hector Peterson Memorial and Regina Moody Church, Mandela House, and Orlando, I think that they can learn a thing or two. Because right now, our youth has got this feeling of, I don't care. They do not care. Yet, that youth, 1976 and before 1970, they care for their country. This is why I say, when it comes to patriotism, they are the best, or they were the best. When it comes to social living, they are better. More zokuba ezifana no technology, etc. Bona babengenazo into efana lezo. They did not have a voice abroad like the youth of today. Man, they ban social media, they say whatever they feel like saying. Laba babelwela ukuthi namhlanje lama social media esinawo namhlanje lama cellphone nama TV esinawo namhlanje sikwazi bona bakwazanga nje ukushimisisa bakwazanga ukubona lezi but thina siyabona namhlanje.
But somehow we are mentioning ukuthi there's a possibility yokuthi asaphelele izwe lethu kodwa we are living for ourselves. I want to drive a flashy car, I want to be known in the location, then I live and then I die.
Yes, that's the thing.
So how do we get our youth today ukuthi babone the value and the importance of living for your country and making your counterpart, as well as developing yourself to a point whereby you get to a point where you develop even the economy of Israel?
Unfortunately, our youth, they do not want to learn. They do not want to learn for current issues. They do not want to learn about previous issues. Abantu abazacishe bebengcono, I think that the students who are doing history, at least they get lolo lwazi oluncane, but I think 90% where you get awufuni. Unfortunately, angeke ukwazi ukuthi ufunde ngezinto economical zamanje ungakwazi ufunde ngezinto zezilapha zasemuva ukuthi kwakwenzakalani. So unfortunately, as I'm saying, our youth do not want that. It doesn't want to.
This is interesting. Considering what Mr. Ntele is saying, we have you are proudly wearing your uniform, which is good. But we are hearing a teacher here with a whole lot of experience and a number of years. We feel they are teaching. Including myself, right? Including myself. So tell us, what is the struggle of the youth from your own perspective?
Today we face teenage pregnancy, and the financial system do not give us the platform to explore many ventures. I understand that back then we did not have enough money to do such things, but now we're limited because there's child involved. In order for the family to continue to function properly, one has to come up with something. So sometimes it's circumstantial for them to not want to work, but other times it's their choice, probably about peer pressure. So going is basic.
Okay. Thank you very much. Ngenga, I really understand what you are saying. I really understand what you're saying. But then the question would lie is that everybody has a choice. Everybody has a dream. Everybody needs to have a dream. Should I say, put it like that? Everybody needs to have a vision. Right? Since the youth of 1976 had a vision, do you think as the current youth, 21st century, have we lost visions? Hence, that is why we are throwing ourselves in substance abuse, teenage pregnancy. Do you think maybe we should go back and instill values so that a person or a student or a learner should say, I'm going to start with
That's for instilling the same message. Cannot be done. Because nowadays, the generation of people apply that to decision making. So we can go back and look at how they do it and why they do it in order for us to understand and interpret it in our own way. From there, we can start moving to studying for what purpose and get it to the family.
Okay.
Because as for instance, on the stage, they study for fashion cards. So if we understood the value of education, we would value education as well.
Let me ask you a question. What is the struggle of the youth of the current youth? Hence, Mr. Nsele mentioned Uguti, you don't want to study or as the youth as full good phone. What is the struggle right now currently?
There's teenage pregnancy, there's substance abuse, and there's the matter of financial systems that will not be okay. As a result, it results in child-headed homes, which leads to the dropout of kids from school, and basically.
But then in the current state or in our governments, we now have schools that are of the government whereby you do not pay any fees. So what is the cause of youth to drop out of school?
As I've mentioned before,
If you're saying that sometimes at home it's a matter of financial constraints, then we have schools that you do not even pay a cent. You are provided even with stationery.
let's forget the education. Let's focus on feeding the loved ones in homes, because that becomes a huge problem. They may have younger siblings, they may have younger siblings that need to be prepared for school as well. So they have to put aside their needs and wants in order for the others to go to school and progress.
Okay. Miss Makan, hashtag fees must fall. It came and it was gone. Do you think that the struggle of fees must fall could be compared with the struggle somewhere in 1976?
Well, in a way it can be, because in 1976 they were fighting for a better quality of education. They were also fighting, the main challenge of 1976 was based around education. So in a way we can compare, because the Fees Must Fall movement is also looking at the education system, the quality of education, and updating it. It's not just about the fees only, and it's not just about the university entry, but in a way it's looking at the vision that we have of saying, if you want us to have this economic transformation we are talking about, give us the opportunity. Don't limit us to how much can we afford, If we go to school, we study what we want to do at tertiary level, then I believe that this movement can be compared. It's not the same, obviously, because the issues are not the same and the manner in which things are happening are not the same. But after all the bashing of buildings and the burning and the violence, the goal is still of uplifting the black child, which was what the 1976 youth was also doing. It's just the mannerisms are different, because in 1976 they wanted peaceful things, but now we look at violence being in the forefront of all the struggles, of all the marches and protests.
They want to be heard with all the matters
yes,
that they
definitely. But the whole goal is to emancipate the black child, improve the government systems, which was what the 1976 class also wanted. It's just the way in which things are being done. They might be different and they might contradict each other.
Babugel, I have something for you. Mr. Nsel, you have something for us and for Ababugele Makaya to show us. We have this beautiful award, right? This is expensive and this is beautiful. With all the experience, hence the award that's Esibonayo, which is yours. Hence this award Esibonala. Do you think there is still a whole lot more to be done through education, or this is it? Since you are receiving awards and there is Monday to Friday we go to school or we are being taught, is there a whole lot more that needs to be done, or this is it?
There is a lot. There is a lot that needs to be done. Right now we are talking about our former youth, 1976 and before. They fought for better education, I must say. Not for free education, but for better education. And as for the Department of Education, I don't think they are doing enough. We still have a long way to go when it comes to accolades like this, because njengamanje, this award, I got it from my former school, the one before in Dengato High School.
All right.
They called us just to say thank you for what we did for them during this period. But the Department yet of Education doesn't do much for us as educators.
Okay.
Instead, what I see is that they are oppressing us. Instead of we know it's our duty, but just to say thank you for our work that we've done, hard work. Yes. Because uma uzobheka othisha bamanje, by youth yamanje, and they do not want to work, just like the learners said, they do not want to learn. They do not want to work. And if bengaziboni izinto ezifana nalezi ezilethwa i-Department of Education, I do not think they will get that oomph to continue and to make sure that they are working hard.
Well then, basically, I think the struggle needs to continue on the side of education.
Yeah, we are not
there is still a whole lot more that needs to be improved.
Yes, educational we are not yet.
Okay. Nampil, tell us, sis, with all the information that you have on the history of 1976, are we playing our role as youth? Are we playing our role? With all the information that you have heard, are we playing our role?
To that question, I'd say yes and no.
Okay.
Yes being, we're still fighting. Continuing the fight. We're still fighting. At least we're fighting for something. And the reason I'm going to say no to that is because we're not fighting.
Maybe to mention one, when you're saying at least we are fighting for something, what is it? One thing? Emancipation. Then the youth of 1976 fought for emancipation. Well, then I guess we are still not free.
Okay.
Since we are still fighting for emancipation.
It's a different kind of emancipation. We're not as oppressed as we were back then. Because now the only problem I think we might have is the education system. The way school conducts things that happen in class. That's the only thing I think we can fight on. Now going back to why I'm going to say no. When I say no, I'm going to say no because we're not going about this the right way. We're vandalizing things as #fees must fall. We're destroying the places that we want, because they wanted to learn in those places. Now, how are you going to learn in a destructive place? It's destructive, there's nothing left of it. So, yeah, it's that.
Okay, thank you very much, Babugeli. Let us wrap inkulumo yethu. But then before we wrap up, to everyone, my guest wethu, your views about Youth Month from its inception. Your views about Youth Month from its inception. Let me start with you, since you are still on the road.
I don't know, month, I think it shouldn't be just a month. It should be on a daily basis. It should be in our blood. We should be practicing it each and every day. But all in all, it being there means we still recognize our history. So I'm going to say it's a good thing.
Thank you very much. It's a good thing, and it's not something that should be a one-month thing. Ms. Makai.
I say that Youth Month should not just be a celebration on pen and paper, but it should be something that has actions and targets. Everything that is said about the youth that we are fighting for, at least in the following year, in a few years, we must say that we were fighting for this in 2017 and it's now 2020 and we've achieved this. We are focusing on more things because it doesn't help us in any way that we just speak about these things, nothing gets done, or even if we commit ourselves or the government commits itself, but nothing gets done at the end of the day. It should be with targets, and it should have a lot of action than more talk.
Let us move away from pen and paper so we get things done. Mr. Nsel.
What I can say is our 1976 youth did not fight for drugs, did not fight for teenage pregnancy, they did not fight for killing innocent children and women. Namhlanje izinto ezenzakalayo zizwisa amahloni nobuhlungu obundlela oyisimanga uma bengavuka, if they can wake up kanye nabaphambili obaba uThambo noma Diba nobani bangaba namahloni ongazange uzowabona. So mina engikushoyo to our youth, inkunzi isematholeni, umnqobi ukubona, umphathi wezwe ukubona, kodwa uma ngabe they do not value that or 1976 nezinye izinto ezenziwa youth yangaphambilini, we are not going anywhere.
Okay, thank you very much. Babukele Makaya. That is it for today. Keep tuned. We'll give you another updates on the following month. Most probably Simbe since we are still celebrating Umuntu Mosha. Siyabonga kakhulu ke from our guest, Ms. Makanya, Ms. Ngubane, and Mr. Nsele. Thank you very much. This is Born for Greatness TV. Keep in tune. Remember, stay in touch on our social media platforms. Ninga Balegi, Facebook, it's Born for Greatness Media, and on YouTube, Born for Greatness TV. Thank you very much. Signing out. Let me ask you a question. What is the struggle of the youth of the current youth? Hence, Mr. Nsele mentioned Uguti, you don't want to study, or as the youth has fully good phone. What is the struggle right now?
There's teenage pregnancy, there's substance abuse, and there's the matter of financial systems that will not be okay. As a result, it results in child-headed homes, which leads to the dropout of kids from school. And basically.
But then, in the current state, or in our governments, we now have schools that are of the government, whereby you do not pay any fees. So what is the cause of the youth to drop out of school?
As I've mentioned before,
if you're saying that sometimes at home it's a matter of financial constraints, then we have schools that you do not even pay a cent. You are provided even with stationery.
Let's forget the education. Let's focus on feeding the young ones in homes, because that becomes a huge problem. They may have younger siblings, that need to be paid.